Well, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we're joined by a very special guest, good buddy of mine that I literally just met like 2 weeks ago. But he's a good buddy of mine. He's a professional goaltender with, most recently with the Columbus River Dragons. Ty Hunter. I met him last 2 weeks ago in Elmira at the free agent camp there, and we're back again for a live interview for the podcast in Chicago here. But Ty, how's it going?
Oh, it's good, man. It's good to be here. Excited for camp. It's good to see you again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I am too. What are you most looking forward to?
Just playing some games, getting a chance to fly around out there on the ice. That's always the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But like this is like the first live interview, live podcast that we're doing here, and so I'm glad to get you on to be the first one, the guinea pig for it.
Yeah, it's my first podcast too, so see how it goes.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. But like we talked about being here in Chicago for the Binghamton Black Bears free agent camp. We were there in Elmira 3 weeks ago. So like, how was that camp for you?
I got I was just at a goalie camp before, well, some goalie lessons before that, and kind of got to, try some of those new techniques and stuff out in some game situations. So I think all in all for me, it was a success in the way that I got to, try those things out and use them in a game.
Yeah, it was, and like you did. I thought you did really well during that time in Elmira.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
It was a good time with you. Like you're one of my five goalie partners.
Yeah, five of us.
But like it was just a good being around the boys and just being able to be in like a game situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was nice that there's plenty of different teams there, so it was good to get looks from those guys, and in the end, it was a success that way. Like, got a couple of free agent invites, so might still explore those depending on how this weekend goes. Hopefully, won't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, you'll be signed after this camp, after this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before we jump into like you were with Columbus last year, like I want to get into like your background of like how old were you when you first started playing the game, and like what made you fall in love with the game?
Well, I guess it was probably like playing just basement hockey with my dad, and just trying to beat him all the time and getting all frustrated, and he wouldn't let me win, right? So
No.
I'd be freaking out and yelling at him and beating his legs with the stick. and yeah, no, those were always really fun moments for me. And obviously he had a really good passion for the game as well. And that was it, like,
Yeah,
I love skating around, being on the ice, flying around. That's
just buzzing around.
It's just the best, man.
It is. Like I was on a podcast yesterday and we got to talking about like basement floorball, floor hockey, stuff like that. And like those are the days where you're just chilling with your dad, just your brother, your siblings, whoever, and just going,
just having fun.
Having fun. Gets very competitive because you don't want to lose, and your dad's obviously not going to let you win. Yeah. But does get competitive. Like those bring back like the best memories that make you first fall in love with the game.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, but like, did you like then you go on to the ice? So like, what was like that moment where you're like, this is what I want to do?
I think it was just kind of the whole time, like when I was really young, I was playing out. I just loved scoring goals, and then I was kind of forced into the position at the Adams age. I don't know what age you are then, but I was kind of forced into it by my coach, and then my dad bought me gear the next year, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm a goalie now, and I honestly quite enjoyed it. It grew on me. I didn't enjoy it as much at first, but then I got to play every game and the whole game, so I was happy. you know.
Who doesn't love playing the whole game, the full 60 minutes? You're out there just buzzing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like so you're born in you were in BC, Canada, like you're born in British Columbia, Canada over there. So like what was it growing up in Canada and British Columbia and then just going into like the Adams division, like you said, and then just going up from there?
Well, there's lots of really talented players in my age group. Like it seemed like almost everyone did play juniors, and if they didn't, they could have.
Yeah.
And it was, I grew up in a really good hockey pool, so it was just fun to play with those guys. And moving up from there, like I only ended up playing finished out my minor hockey and then tried out all over British Columbia for junior B, junior A teams, and just couldn't stick with any of them. I was, a little bit bigger and I was old at the time. I was late to trying out, so those kind of things worked against me, I'm sure. And probably there's situations where I probably should have been on the team, but they went with the younger guy, and I get it. It was what it was, right? So,
Yeah. It's like what do you learn from experiences like that when you get cut, you're not sticking around, and then just especially now since you're in the pro game and it's hard to stick around in leagues and on teams, like just to go through that at an early age to get you to where you are now.
yeah, I guess like no was never the final answer. I guess like it was no for that team, but there was another camp, and in the end, I mean, even being the only goalie in minor hockey, like whether you won or lose, like you still wake up the next day and still got to go to school and do your shit. And I guess that was kind of something that I learned. And I mean, I learned a lot of other things on the way, just how to be an adult and going to the interview process. Like every camp that I went to, it was almost every weekend in the summer. Like every weekend I was going and meeting these adults as a teenager and having them tell me, no, you got to go home. And all right, well, yeah, you just kind of figure it out and move on from there.
Yeah, that's all you can do is just take those learning experiences and just keep grinding away because
that's pretty much it.
Definitely hard to, especially when you get told no a lot, but like just to continue to go like that just proves like your love for the game. You just didn't give up like that.
Yeah, it was fun to go to all those towns and play in different barns and experience the new towns, right? I got to experience each town for a weekend, and I would bike around or walk around and find things I never knew about the place before, right? So it was a different way of traveling, a little bit more expensive, I guess, and still got to strap on the pads, so it was pretty good.
Traveling, playing hockey, nothing better, like we were talking about earlier, especially when you get those stories where the airline loses your bag or stuff like that. All the good stories.
Could do without the losing the bag part, but no, there's lots of travel stories now.
Yeah. A lot of them, but like those are the best, like the road trips, everything like that.
Yeah,
like
the times on the bus
makes for the best memories.
Yeah. We had the bus break down a couple of times last year, and we had a speaker with us, and it was kind of sunny out, and we're by a gas station, so
sunbathe at the gas station.
Yeah, no, we brought the ball out. We were playing nine tag or whatever, one touch, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, we had a day.
Yeah, you make the most out of the shitty situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but would you say playing hockey? What would you compare playing hockey in Canada versus playing hockey in the States, or like how they differ, if anything?
Well, I guess my experience. Well, I guess there's just more opportunities in the States. Like there's almost like I haven't been to every town in the States, obviously, but there's a lot where there's rinks. There's quite a few rinks, and they're open. They seem to be open year round, and in Canada, like where my hometown area, there's no ice in the summer. Like
That's gotta be
you got
tough.
to drive 4 hours to Prince George, and then even then it's pretty limited. Like they had most of the ice out this year, and then they have this one 3-on-3 small arena, but again they take the ice out for 1 or 2 months of the summer, so it's
So
there's like
very limited ice.
it's pretty limited, and it's supposed to be Canada, right? Like it's supposed to
Hockey's
be our
supposed to be
thing.
everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a little bit disappointing and hard to train that way, but you just got to kind of make do with what you're given, right? So,
Yeah, just gotta control what you can, because obviously those you can't control whether they take the ice out or not.
yeah,
But you just gotta roll with the punches, I
yeah.
guess.
We're trying to get it going in the summer because I'm pretty sure there's enough people that
Yeah,
want to play.
there has to be, especially in Canada over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then you go on throughout youth hockey, minor hockey, and you end up in the Central Interior Hockey League. So talk about that. Like that's Canada's senior team over the senior league over there. So tell us about that.
Yeah, it's senior single A. There's hitting, fighting. It's
Real hockey.
it's real hockey, and everyone's got to work the next day too. So that's kind of the tough part about it, right? Where some guys can't show up for practice every day, or well, they definitely can't show up every day, and it gets boiled down to 1 or 2 times a week, and you know it even then guys have trouble making that. So the commitment level isn't there, but the skill is totally there. Like every one of those guys, well, not everyone, but lots of those guys have been playing junior or higher, and or just played minor hockey and just never really developed and never left home or whatever, and still really talented players. So the only real difference is that there's more opportunity to practice more, like where here it's profession.
Yeah.
There it's, the team can help you get there and get your room, but other than that, like it's pretty much it's on you to pay to play at that point. But yeah, I would say that's the major difference from my experience in the CI.
Yeah, the CI.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But you played for your hometown team, and then you played for Terrace, right?
Yeah. So our hometown team was kind of shut down for a few years, and a buddy of mine he moved into town and bought the team and started it up again, and it just kind of worked out for timing for me to when I was moving home and started playing again. I had to get new skates, new bucket, because they were completely rusted out. I had just been playing rec for fun, and so my blades were completely toast. Bucket
Probably to get it profiled
PE.
and everything if you were gonna start to get it new.
Those things were toast. Those things were toast. They were tired.
Long gone.
They were long gone. They're decade plus each. So it was time. It was time for them to go. And so I bought some new gear and started playing again. Had a lot of fun. I'm playing with like a bunch of my old buddies that I grew up playing with. And it was, we didn't do too well in the standings that year, but it was a lot of fun. I got to make lots of saves, and it was good. So then COVID hit, so everyone had a year off, and then the following year the Smithers team didn't start up again. So Terrace, I searched around for a couple of teams, and Terrace was, they offered to pay for my gas and give me a room every once in a while. So
not a bad gig.
Yeah, it's 3.5 hour drive, but like I said, they pay for the gas, so I show up for one practice a week at least, sometimes two, and then drive home, get home around 1 or 2 in the morning, and chill out for another hour, get to sleep, and get to your day. But yeah, that was another cool experience. All those guys had been playing together since they were kids, and I had played against them at some point, sometimes through minor hockey, and they're a great group of dudes. They're very welcoming. They had, a really good time in the dressing room, good time off the ice too, and yeah, again, they were just super welcoming, the coaching staff and everything. They were nice to me. So yeah, I had a good year, and we made it to the Koi Cup finals. Like, we won the league, won our playoffs. Koi Cup is like the single A like provincial championship, and we ended up playing Dawson Creek in a best of three. We beat them the first game, and they beat us the next two, but they were both close games, and so denied that trophy. But again, the year was really good, and it just kind of, both those years just kind of, well, all 3 years. The COVID year, everyone's sitting around thinking about what they could be doing, and I was thinking about playing hockey the whole time, right? And I was emailing teams in Europe and trying to find an agent that would try and help me out. And yeah, kind of nothing until after the year with Paris. And yeah, it's
working out. It's working out now compared to everything you've been doing like throughout like the times of like COVID and all that, like playing hockey and then just going through the senior league in Canada, and now you ended up in the Fed last year.
yeah.
But like before we get to the Fed, like what really helped you like develop in the CI to help you get to take that next step into the Fed?
Well, I got lots of game time. I played almost every game both years, and I kind of took it upon myself to study some other goalies and try and figure out what they're doing to try and improve my own game. And yeah, I picked out pieces and bits and pieces that I thought made sense to me, and I'm pretty good at implementing them into my game pretty quickly, but I didn't have like a direction.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just watching people, I guess. Watching people and playing games.
That's sometimes the best way to learn is just looking at what other people do, just watching their games, and then doing whatever you can to bring at least some aspect to your own game. And then you never know what's gonna, something may work in your game compared to someone else's, and then just take bits and pieces from other goalies.
Yeah, yeah. I got lots of time to try things out in those games, right? So
yeah, exactly. And then you go after the CI, you went on to play in the Fed with the Columbus River Dragons, where you got 2 starts.
yeah.
It's like, what was your time in Columbus like?
Oh, it was really good. They treated me pretty good off the ice. I had a good place to live. My roommates were eccentric and awesome at the same time. They were all characters in their own right, and
we love that.
Yeah,
we love that.
Yeah, and good people though. I made a couple of friends. I'd like to say that. Well, I still text a couple of them almost daily, and if not weekly. So that's kind of what it's about too.
Yeah.
Like making those friendships. Other than that, like the arena was such a cool place to play. The vibe of the town was really nice. Like the downtown area is pretty, like, I don't want to say it's fancy, but it's like it's proper. It's nice. Like there's good restaurants. Everyone dresses nice, and but then you drive across the Chattahoochee, and then you get out into the sticks again, and it's a little bit different over there, and it's cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, and you won your two starts there as well. So
Yeah.
like, what was like in those two wins and pro wins in the Fed?
Yeah, at home too. And
Great crowd too.
oh man, like the second game especially, like it was such a back and forth game. The crowd was so into it, and I think there was almost 5,000 people there,
Wow,
and with all the waves and the emotion, like you could feel it the whole time. It was kind of electric in there, and
just buzzing. We love that. We love when it buzzes.
yeah, it was buzzing. And the fans there are very passionate. Like every time somebody gets thrown in the box, you see everyone get up and start giving it to them, like start yelling all sorts of stuff that you don't want to be yelling on podcasts. But it was a sight to see, like you don't really expect that out of the South, but they love to see gladiators on ice.
They call it hockey town in the South for a reason.
Yeah, it lives up to it. It does, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just awesome that you got two starts, two wins. Like Columbus, great town,
Yeah.
and like we talked earlier on the phone before we met up for dinner. So like you talked about like your mindset there and like how like it was like you were able to learn from like how to handle yourself from going from like a third string to a backup to starting games and stuff like that. So talk about like the importance of having a good mindset, especially at the pro level.
Yeah. It's you know, being a backup, being that close to, what you truly want is being a starter and somebody that you can be relied on every game, like being that close to something was really hard. But yeah, like you said, I learned lots of lessons on just how I need to approach every day, whether I'm playing or not. I need to figure out how to bring the right attitude and be a team first guy, like every day. I don't think that I was selfish by any means, but at the same time, I kind of was, I want that for myself, and not getting it affected my attitude. So that's something that I allowed to happen, and plan to plan to figure it out a little bit better this time. I just want to win. I want to win games. I want to be on the ice. I want to be on the bench. I don't want to be in the stands. that's that's it. Like that's not why I practice every day. That's not why I train in the off season. That's not why, I've asked for money from family. It's to play games.
To win games.
To win and play games. Like that's it. So yeah, I know I got goals that I got to work on, which is, I need to be more focused on working out, and keep making sure my diet is good. I've learned a lot over this summer on what works for my body, just eating food wise and portioning, and it's helped me lose a bunch of weight that I didn't need. And yeah, I'm feeling really good going into this season. So
Yeah, that's awesome that you were able to learn everything throughout that experience, and then just you didn't just stop thinking about it after last season. Like you continue to work on throughout the summer, and then like how to handle yourself in situations like that, and what your body can and can't handle, and just so always a learning curve and a learning experience to learn your body, even at our age, at that professional level. Like you're still learning every day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's I've learned lots about myself and what my limits are, and yeah, learning more and more, figuring it all out. And then right now I'm feeling like I'm at my peak. Like my body has never felt better. Like my mind has never felt more focused. It's right now.
That's what you want.
It's right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
And like you're feeling the best, you think you're playing the best and everything. So like, what do you think's like your best, like the best part about your game right now?
Well, I've learned a lot over these past lessons that I've been doing. Um, my my own personal strengths, I believe that I read the game really well. Um, I think like, well, my vision, like I'm always looking, scanning the ice and figuring out where people are. I feel like I can anticipate where people are going pretty well. Um, I I'm pretty athletic, so I always believe like I'm never out of a save as long as I'm in the net. And that was something that I've been working on a lot with the goalie coaches, is just being more simple in front of the puck. And I found in my old footage and old games that, I blow out of the crease a little bit, or I'm sitting a little bit too high, and I maybe get beat back door. If I bring myself in a few feet, a turn and a push, and I'm at that post way faster, right? And it's something like that that's just gonna make me more confident in the net. And if I'm more confident, then my team is more confident. And that's, in the end, that's one of my major goals and focuses, that my team can rely on me to be there every time.
Yeah, that's
give my full effort.
Yeah.
Not give up on anything.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is just not give up on any shot, because if you're in the net, you have a chance to stop it no matter what happens. If a play gets broken and it's a back door, just wide open net, you're not giving up, and you're just gonna go for it and give your 100% effort to keep that puck out of the net.
Yeah, there's definitely goals that I can think about where it's like, those are the ones that haunt me, is like, if I gave a little bit more, do you think?
Yeah.
You think maybe?
Maybe.
It's like,
always a chance, always a maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to be left with those thoughts anymore. Like,
you either do it or you don't.
Yeah,
that's it.
Or you couldn't do
or
it.
you couldn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like, that's like, I love how like simple that the game is to you, and just like we were talking earlier, like I think simplicity is like the foundation of goaltending, because everyone tries to add these random crazy things into your game when it's literally just simple. Like the positions to stop the puck, and once you are simple about it, whether it be like your skating is more efficient, you're tracking the puck with your eyes all the way in, just moving your head, like tracking the puck, your head goes first, your eyes go next, just stuff like that, and like just keeping the position in the game simple and not over complicating anything.
Yeah, I think that's basically what all the training that I've done, that's what the main focus has been, is just making sure that I'm in front of the puck.
Yeah.
That's what your best
Gives yourself the best chance to stop that puck.
That's your best chance. Just being right in front of it. So, and that's, I think I can do it. I think I can do that pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Makes yourself more confident when you're able to do it, and makes everyone else feel a lot more confident with you in the net.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I have two more parts before we wrap things up here. So like, you're a smaller goalie compared to like I am too, compared to like what other goalies are, like 6'2", 6'3". So like, what have you learned about being a smaller goalie to help yourself gain that advantage, even if it's you're facing a taller goalie, like you're just gaining an edge because of like, maybe it's because your skating's better, more smooth, stuff like that.
I think like, as far as like things to separate me from other goalies, that's what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I can bring is that I can handle the puck pretty well. I can, clear the zone if I have to, or give a nice pass up 2 lines if I need
break
to.
Break it up.
That's, I love those. Having good hands is really important, because if you're not that tall, your shoulders aren't covering as much when you're going down. Like, you really need to be able to have good hands, good hand-eye coordination, and rebound control, so you're not putting them out in front all the time. But I think having good hands is something that's really important when you're not as tall.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing. It's just the hands, the skating. Like I see you juggling all the time during warm ups and everything before, just getting the hands dialed, because it is true. Like, as smaller guys, like, you don't take up as much of the net as a taller goalies that are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". So you just gotta do anything you can to help gain that advantage and fast hands, and you're able to do that.
Yeah, I found like the reaction balls that are like multi-sided and stuff. That was a really big thing for me that helped me dial in. Like, that's probably one of my number one priorities when warming up with limited time, is like get groin stretch and get that reaction ball time, and that's it. Like, I can play a pretty good game off of that.
That's awesome that you're able to have, especially in like a short time like that, and just what to do. It's your hands, and then obviously you gotta stretch the groin.
You gotta stretch the groin.
Yeah, exactly. But my last part here is like, obviously, like it's a competitive position and everything. So, like, what are some like tips and advice that you give like younger kids looking to get to that next level, whether it be like minor hockey to juniors, junior to college, college to pro? Just like, what are some tips you give to help them know what it takes?
I would say that it's important, like we were talking about earlier, like your foundation, skating, being a good and efficient, simple skater.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously extremely important. You can't practice it enough, I don't think. I'd say the next thing is figuring out how your body works, like what works for your body, and that, like we just explained, like it's taken years.
Yeah, it's not just overnight success. You trial and error.
Yeah,
like it takes years to figure out.
Yeah, and for some people it's a ritual. For some people it's like 5 minutes with a reaction ball, or like, you got to figure what it is that gets you in the zone every time, consistent.
Yeah,
like something, whether it's visualization. I think that's extremely important too. Like, if you're not seeing the game all the time, like, otherwise you're only playing 1 hour at a time otherwise.
Yeah.
Right. So 24 hours in a day, you only get 1 hour of practice. Like, I'm going to sleep and I'm thinking about all these crazy situations that are never going to happen.
But you're thinking about it. You're just going through the visualization process to know what you could do in certain situations, and just see it develop and then see how you react.
Yeah. And I've had instances where I've dreamt up a goal or a save, pardon me, dreamt up a save, and I've done that save, and it's like, what?
I just dreamed about that. Like, it just came in a fruition. Like,
that. You manifested or whatever,
something like that.
Yeah. So skating, finding what works for your body.
Yeah.
Visualization, say, things are really important for kids.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And having fun.
That is probably the most important part.
Yeah.
Having fun, because if you're not having fun, then why are you still playing?
Oh, you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
gonna make every day hard to go to the rink, but if you're enjoying going to the rink every day and you're having fun, like, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but those are some great tips, some great advice. But Ty, I want to thank you again for coming on the show and being our first live interview guest. And like, I want to wish you the best of luck for tomorrow's camp and throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, bud.